I'm Jacob Seelman.
And I'm Tom Baker.
You're listening to Speed 77 Radio,
powered by Race Chaser Online.
We are your home for motorsports.
Happy 2014, everyone, and welcome to the first Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report of the new year. My name is Tom Baker. I am your host from Speed 77 Radio and Race Chaser Online. Joining me tonight at the round table is our producer coming out from behind the glass one more time to start the 2014 season here on the show, and that is Jacob Seelman. And Jacob, we have got a triple header of up-and-coming racers and a lot of news that they are sharing to get to this evening on tonight's show.
Yeah, we do, Tom, and good evening, race fans out there. But I appreciate you bringing me back from behind the glass for once. I feel a little special in more ways than one here this afternoon.
Well, you should, because it's your birthday, and so we wish you a happy birthday, and thank you for spending part of your birthday with us, and we hope that it's been a good one for you. But Jacob, we have got a bunch of racing to talk about here in this half an hour presentation, and we are going to start with an event that's coming up here in the next couple of weeks, January 25th and 26th to be exact, down in the Peach State of Georgia at the Watermelon Capital Speedway, and that is the CRA Speed Fest. And of course, that is a race that features both the Pro Late Models and the Super Late Models on the card that weekend, and some tremendous competition in store at that event.
It's a lot of fun. Speedfest every year draws some of the greatest drivers from the winter, as we put it. David Reagan usually brings his super late model out to play. You see some ARCA guys, Kyle Benjamin, Anderson Bowen, John Hunter Nemechek, who we'll hear from a little later on in the show this evening. But the pro late models and the super late models, 125 laps for the pros and 200 laps for the super late models. No points on the line, which always makes it exciting. But you never really know who's going to come out of the woodwork to race at Speedfest, and you really never know who's going to win at the end of the day, because everybody lays it on the line. It's just a trophy dash and a pretty cool check at the end of it, too.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a trophy dash, but it's one of those races that you just really want to win. Mesa Massey going to be running it as well. There'll be a lot of drivers there who are vying for that top prize, and as you mentioned, John Hunter Nemechek is with us here on tonight's program, and let's talk with John Hunter and find out what his plans are for this upcoming Speedfest race.
John Hunter, good to have you back on the show, our first show of 2014. First of all, let's talk a little bit about what you got coming up immediately. 25th and 26th of this month is the Speedfest weekend of racing at the Watermelon Capital Speedway down in Georgia. Talk a little bit about that and what your expectations are for that event.
Well, we'll be running both the Pro Late Model race and the Super Late Model race, so it'll definitely be fun, just like we did at the Snowball Derby. We had a really good run down there at the Snowball Derby, but every time that we've been to Watermelon Capital, we've also run good. The two times I have been there, we've led laps and have been there late in the going, but just have never been able to finish it off and always had bad luck. So last year we ran out of gas with 4 to go leading, and it was a disappointment. But every time that we go there, it's always a great opportunity. It's a great racetrack. I love the place. So I'm really looking forward to running both cars there for the first time this year and hopefully getting at least one win out of the deal.
Well, this is a brand new year, so Lady Luck time to change for John Hunter, I think, at Watermelon Capital. Besides that, though, talk a little bit about what you have coming up. I know there are some things you can't announce yet. They're going to be probably announced here in the next week or so, but what can you tell us in general about where you're going to be or what you're going to be racing in 2014?
Well, 2014, we will be running a lot more late model races, as well as some K&N races and some ARCA races, and hopefully some more NASCAR stuff. I can't announce that at this time, but next week it'll be announced, and really looking forward to the opportunity that I have.
Yeah, so you're actually going to be running in the ARCA series some this year.
Yes, maybe one or two races, just trying to get more big track experience. As much experience as I can, the better it helps. So it's all a learning curve.
Well, we certainly look forward to finding out what it is that's in store for you on the NASCAR side of things. Of course, I'm sure many people will start speculating when they hear this, but we hope to be able to bring the real story here on our pair of shows next week, the Motorsports Madness show Tuesday night, and next Thursday's Stock Car Steel show. But meanwhile, John Hunter, you actually had all bad luck at the Watermelon Capital Speedway aside. You actually had a really, really strong 2013 season in the late model. Talk a little bit about that whole run of shows with the Sunoco Southern Super Series and all of the success that went with that. That was a pretty doggone good season.
Yes, it was. We won one championship out of the deal and finished second in another and third in another. So it was definitely a fun year running the Southern Super Series, and it's by far the most competition that I've ever run in, just with Bubba Pollard and Chase Elliott and Augie Grill and all the guys from the South that have been doing it so long. It was all learning experience last year, and that's what it takes to be able to get better and better each year. Too bad we didn't pull a win out of the deal last year, but hopefully we'll get many more this year.
Don't leave out that Hemrick guy. He ran pretty good in that series last year.
Yeah, he did. He was very strong.
Yeah, he's strong in anything he runs without question. Well, it sounds like you're going to have your hands full this year, and also you're going to not lack for variety, 3 or 4 different types of cars, or at least cars in 3 or 4 different series this year for you.
Yes, we're really looking forward to some different racetracks I can go to, and a bunch of different cars. Everything that you do, racing-wise, everything that you can get your hands in, it's all experience, and it all helps.
Well, and it all builds on one another, too. I mean, you've come a long way from the quarter midget days.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I'm sure you still remember them fondly, though, and I know you don't do all this by yourself, so let's talk a little bit about those who help you, both corporate and on the team side.
Thank all of our sponsors enough from last year, McDonald's, PelletGrillUSA.com, AMSMenergy.com, DAB Constructors, SWM Gunrunner, Race Electronics, Bell Helmets, just Simpson Race Products, everyone that helped out last year. I can't thank them enough, and can't thank my dad and family enough for all they did and for all the efforts they're putting in last year and this year, and all the guys that work for me, Alex Smith, Austin Pollock, and hopefully some new faces to come.
Well, John Hunter, we wish you all the luck in the world here coming up at Watermelon Capital for the CRA's Speed Fest down there at the end of the month. We certainly hope Lady Luck will be a little kinder and gentler to you, and you can be in the thick of it for the win down there. And thanks for taking some time to talk with us tonight on the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Show.
No problem, and thank you for having me.
And I'll tell you, Tom, I was able to see some highlights of that event that he was leading with 4 to go a year ago. The kid is not afraid to stick his nose in there when it counts. He's not afraid to make the moves. And if he's in the right position again in this year's Speed Fest, I would not deny him a shot to win not just one of the 2 events, but both of them, a feat that is very, very hard to come by in Speed Fest history because not many people run both races.
That's very true, Jacob, and I definitely agree with you about John Hunter and his aggression level. He is surely he does not have a lack of confidence on the track whatsoever. He's a very smart driver and a very heady driver. He takes care of his equipment, but he is certainly not afraid to go for it when it's necessary. And I think John Hunter, you mentioned the bad luck he's had at this event, but new year, new luck. Let's hope. And we wish John Hunter all the best as he tackles both the Pro Series and Super Pro Series late model races at Watermelon Capital in a couple of weeks. And of course, we are going to follow the developing story on John Hunter's announcement that is going to be happening on Monday. We are going to be talking with John Hunter on Monday, and we will have an interview with John Hunter on Tuesday night's Motorsports Madness show right here on Speed 77 Radio and Race Chaser Online. So we will get the scoop on exactly what it is that John Hunter's going to be doing within the NASCAR ranks in 2014. Should be a lot of fun to talk with him on Monday. Have an idea what it is, but we'll wait and see what develops on Monday. It should be very interesting.
We'll wait for him to stop the presses himself instead of trying to do it for him.
That's for sure. Yeah, we won't speculate here on the show. We'll just we'll let that develop itself through the weekend, and John Hunter will announce it on Monday, and we will be on top of it on the Motorsports Madness show Tuesday night. With that, we will throw the caution flag for the first time in 2014 here on the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports show. When we come back, we're going to be talking about a Texan who is trying to make it big in the sport. He's running the ARCA series right now, and he's had a chance to speak with Jacob about his plans for this season. Austin Self going to talk with us right after the break. You are listening to the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports show on Speed 77 Radio and Race Chaser Online. Stay with us.
For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. We're proud they're a motorsports content partner here at Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for raw materials such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is the place to go for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the path to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com or SRI-supplies.com. Check them both out on Facebook or call them toll-free at 1-888-752-7272, 1-888-752-7272.
For Nationwide drivers, every race matters. They have everything to win and everything to lose. With every win, they're closer to winning the Nationwide title. With every loss, they're closer to losing it all. They're not just racing for points, they're racing for a future. And only a checkered flag separates obscurity from greatness. This is the Nationwide Series.
I'm Jacob Seelman.
And I'm Tom Baker.
You're listening to Speed 77 Radio,
Powered by Race Chaser Online.
We are your home for motorsports.
Welcome back to the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report here on Speed 77 Radio and RaceChaserOnline.com. Jacob Seelman out from behind the glass along with our host Tom Baker. And now we're going to shift gears just a little bit, move into the ARCA Racing Series side of things. Tom, I got the chance to sit down earlier this week with a new Cunningham Motorsports driver for 2014. Of course, Cunningham, one of the premier ARCA development teams, Texan Austin Self, and Austin just ran a very diverse schedule in 2013, everything from late models to modifieds to a couple of ARCA starts. You had him on your show on ESPN Radio last year, just an incredible young man, a very fine talent in the Southwest, and certainly a great opportunity for him coming up full season for Cunningham in the ARCA series.
Yeah, Austin's a diverse kind of kid. He's a lot of fun. He's a very well-mannered, very respectful young man and a talent behind the wheel as well. And he was a very enjoyable interview last year on our ESPN Charlotte show, and it was really fun to be able to get a listen to his background story, which I don't know how much you guys get into in this interview, but anybody that's listening out there, if you get a chance, just go to Facebook, type in Austin Wayne Self, S-E-L-F, and get his Facebook page and then go to his website and check out his story. He's a cool kid, a lot of fun. Cunningham, definitely excited about him, and I think he's happy to be there. So let's hear what Austin had to say.
Austin, first off, thank you for taking some time to talk with us. You had an incredibly diverse 2013 season, ran just about anything you could, anytime you could, split time between some K&M Pro Series East drives, ran a late model, ran a modified in Texas several times this year, and made a couple of ARCA starts as well. Had an impressive run at ARCA, actually got a top 10 finish in your start at Toledo earlier this season. Talk a little bit about your 2013 season and kind of what your expectations were and whether they were met here at the end of the year.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on the show. This past year's been a really busy year for me. We start off the year, hopefully getting, trying to do a couple ARCA races and a couple canyon races to get our feet wet and see what that was like in the big cars. And other than that, we did a couple CRA races and a bunch of late model races in Texas, pretty much racing in every week, and no matter what kind of car it was. We kicked off our ARCA debut at Toledo with top 6 finish. I think we had a second place finish in Winchester. We had a bunch of great finishes, top 5 finishes in ARCA. Had some great finishes in Canyon. And pretty much we looking forward to see what we're going to do this year. And we had a really good season with Cunningham Motorsports. That was a great experience getting to work with those guys and getting be a part of such a great organization, and I really enjoy working with those guys because they can provide a really fast car, and I just think they're great guys to work with. I think that was a big thing for me, getting ready for this next upcoming season in 2014.
And you're taking a big step for 2014, actually moving to a full-time ARCA seat with Cunningham Motorsports, making the leap to full-time stock car competition. What is the support for Cunningham with guys over there like Tom Hessert and the whole crew at Cunningham, Kerry Scherer and all those guys meant as you've gotten ready to make the leap, and what do you expect? What kind of goals are you setting for this 2014 run?
For the past years, I've seen Cunningham have great finishes. They've won championship, and of course, Paul Andrews, I think he's one of the best crew chiefs out there, and he's won a NASCAR championship. So with the experience he has and the willpower of the team wanting to win, everyone up to Kerry, Kerry, co-owner of the Cunningham Motorsports, he wants to win just as much as everybody else on the team. So get all these guys together that really want to win and work hard to get that. I think we're looking, not only this next season, I think we're not only looking at rookie for the year, but I think we have a chance to win championships and definitely win a bunch of races. And I think that's our goal is to do the best we can and to show we can run up front. And I think this next season here is going to be our year to prove it and show that we can win some races.
You just recently got done with the ARCA test out at Daytona International Speedway, getting set to run the 200-mile season opener here next month. What was the test like for you? What was the atmosphere like actually putting wheels on the track at the Mecca of Motorsports at Daytona for the first time?
I was just beside myself, just being able to be there and getting to drive on the track. I've been racing go-karts since I was 5 years old, and I remember showing up for the WKA races at Daytona. They have the go-kart track in the middle of the big track, and showing up there on speed weeks and pulling up to the racetrack, going through the tunnel with my mom and looking at the track and looking at my mom saying, I think one day I'm going to be on that track, Mom, and she hated that. She just looked at me and hated that, and actually getting to drive on the big track and being on there with other cars is a totally different thing. You don't feel like you're going 180 miles an hour until you get behind another car and that draft sucks you up. And it was just a really cool track, and I'm really, really excited to get back on it. We actually pulled off some good times too. We went out there and I think we're top 5 on the leaderboards all week, and then being out there and Tom helped me out a little bit, but I think the whole team, we got something for him.
You've cut your teeth over the last couple years on the short tracks. You're moving into some of the speedway racing now this season, but what is it about the short track racing and everything you've done over the past couple years that just suits your driving style, it seems like?
I think I'm a pretty aggressive driver. One thing I usually struggle a little bit in practice, but once I get out in the race, it's a totally different thing. And just being able to drive the track hard and pushing to the limit, we went to tracks like Winchester and Salem, and you have to have, I think, a big part of those tracks is you got to have the guts to drive the car in there and the guts to drive the car where the car needs to be driven. I think that's one thing that suits me is just going all out, no matter what it takes to get the car up there and run up front. The other thing is I just love the racing. I love passing on the outside. I love passing on the inside. Running next to the guys, I think ARCA is a great series. Just driving these 850 horsepower cars, it's got something that keeps him coming back. So
the racing drive, I know, always important. What's the biggest thing you've had to learn transitioning over to the K&N and the ARCA style stock cars? I know it's a transition jump for a lot of drivers, but what's the biggest adjustment that you've had to make?
The car-wise, I think, you got the K&N runs the bias fly tires and ARCA runs the radial tires. It's really a totally different feel. The K&N car just doesn't feel like it's really digging in the ground. It kind of feels like it rolls over a little bit, and the way you drive the K&N car is totally different. The ARCA car, it's a lot about, in the longer races, it's about saving tires and being there at the end of the race. So I think one of the biggest things going from a K&N car to an ARCA car is making sure you know what race you're in, because K&N races, everybody in there is super, super aggressive. You don't have a whole lot of laps to get to the front, and you got to be really aggressive there. And in the ARCA series, you got pit stops, you got long races, so it's making sure you keep your head in the game, making sure you're there at the end of the race and saving those tires.
And I know with you making the jump in 2014, obviously a move that you couldn't make on your own. I know you've got a lot of people and supporters behind you help making it happen, not just for 2014, but even this past season as well. Talk a little bit about who's made it happen for Austin Self.
Yeah, I got to thank God first, giving me a chance and blessing me, putting me in race cars every weekend and keeping me safe. But also my dad working hard. I got to thank AM Technical Solutions. They've supported me this past year, getting me a car out there every weekend, and Cunningham Motorsports for working hard every weekend, trying to get us out there. And it seems like every time we go out on the track, we always have a fast car. So, we're always looking for more support. So you can never have enough support out here in the racing. So.
And certainly he's making the case for the support, making a fast start. 17-year-old Austin Self out of Texas. Austin, again, we wish you the best of luck going forward as you embark on your 2014 ARCA campaign with Cunningham Motorsports, and look forward to talking to you again here on the show as 2014 rolls on, and looking forward to seeing your on-track success as well.
Yeah, hopefully we can talk about some races I've won.
And Tom, the most interesting thing for me about all this is not so much that Austin got this chance for 2014, because I think you and I both knew he was ready for it. I think the thing that's most surprising is the driver that he's replacing, Tom Hessert. Hessert, a veteran of the ARCA ranks, has run with Cunningham Motorsports off and on since about 2006, a multi-time winner in the ARCA Racing Series. It surprises me because Cunningham has run two cars in the past that they wouldn't keep Tommy Hessert in the primary car and put Austin Self in the second car, but they seem to be invested this year in two younger drivers trying to really go back to their roots as a development program, with both Austin Self and Shannon McIntosh as well was announced earlier this week as running multiple races with the Cunningham organization for 2014. It's going to be a real interesting lineup over there.
Yeah, it should be. And of course, Shannon's an up-and-coming young talent as well, and I think you're right. I think they're kind of going back to their development roots, so to speak, with these two youngsters. And I think Austin's going to do them proud this year, I really do. So look forward to seeing what develops out of the Cunningham Motorsports stable when the ARCA Series gets underway with their big race at Daytona coming up here in just a short time. Speaking of things coming up in a short time, we got to take another break. Our final caution flag of the evening, but we are not out of show yet. We have got an interview with one of the NASCAR Next racers, Gray Golding, who announces his 2014 plans, and he's got some big ones. You'll hear about them right after these words. You're listening to the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Show on Speed 77 Radio and Race Chaser Online.
For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. We're proud they're a motorsports content partner here at Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for raw materials such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is the place to go for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the path to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com or SRI-supplies.com. Check them both out on Facebook or call them toll-free at 1-888-752-7272, 1-888-752-7272.
I'm Jacob Seelman.
And I'm Tom Baker,
You're listening to Speed 77 Radio.
powered by Race Chaser Online.
We are your home for motorsports.
Welcome back to the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Show. Tom Baker along with Jacob Seelman on this Thursday night. And we are already in overtime, as they say. Of course, that's the name of the game, isn't it? To end up with a green-white checkered. And we've got a great finish coming up to the night show. Had a chance to talk with Greg Galding a little earlier on in the week. Actually, over this past weekend, Gray dropped by the Winter Heat Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the NX Legends and Bandoleros. Of course, that's how Gray got his start in the sport. It's in those divisions, and Gray dropped by the track on a very cold Saturday afternoon to watch some of his buddies race and support his former teammates. And we had a chance to chat with Gray about his 2013 season in the K&M Pro East Series, and also about what's coming up for him in 2014. And he dropped almost the whole bombshell. You'll hear what I mean when you hear Gray. Let's go to it.
Tom Baker with Race Chaser Online in the pits at Charlotte Motor Speedway at Winter Heat, and Greg Galding standing next to me. Gray, a young driver who started his career here running series like the Winter Heat and has moved on. Gray running some K&N series races last year. This year, in 2014, you're taking another step.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to run 10 truck races in full K&N to go after the title, but felt like we had a good rookie season. Can't thank all my guys enough. Krispy Kreme, True Moo, Chocolate Milk. It's a lot of fun to be able to go to a track and know you have a shot to win. You have the right people around you, and very fortunate to have great partners like I do. But I feel like we had a good season. You know, we can learn a little bit more now that I've been to more tracks going into 2014. But we got the win in Phoenix. What we're really excited about to go in the off season and learn more and get more data to be better in 2014. So really looking forward to it. We're probably going to announce our deal here pretty soon, and I'm really excited.
10 truck races now. I know you can't announce a lot of specifics about the deal itself, but can you tell us anything about how the deal came about for you to move up into the trucks?
Well, I feel like, we have a lot of great people working with us, with Krispy Kreme, True Moo, Chocolate Milk, all our good partners. It's just all about getting everybody together and looking at the goals for 2014 is, all the people have been working very hard, and I'm very thankful for that. And we got a call from an owner, and we actually sat down with 3 or 4 owners, meetings and stuff like that. So that's what's fun about the off season. After racing and running a whole season, already you're working on 2014. As soon as the last race in Phoenix was over, we're already working on stuff. So I think we got a really good deal going for us.
It sounds like it. Talk a little bit about what the transition was like for you up to the K&N cars out of the late models this past year.
It was a big step because my first race was Daytona. We almost won, finished second, and then we went to Phoenix, which was pretty cool. I was only 15 in 1 month, and I got to race at a mile track like Phoenix. But it's all about learning the new tracks and new drivers that you're racing against, trying to learn who you can race, who you can't. Just getting to know your peers. But at the end of the day, I'm here to win. That's my main goal everywhere I go. I don't care if it's anything, racing go-karts at my house or playing with my buddies. I'm all about winning, so hopefully going into 2014 we could get some more wins, but felt like getting that win at Phoenix was really good because we felt like we should have won more because we had such bad luck early in the season, but we really turned it around, and I'm really looking forward to not only 2014, we're working on 2015, 2016, so I think we got a lot of great stuff working for me and all my partners.
It sounds like it, and I know you didn't do this all alone, so here's your chance to give some shout-outs here.
Well, yeah, I want to thank, obviously, Krispy Kreme Donuts, True Moo Chocolate Milk. We got a whole lot more people that are wanting to be able to be a part of this, but I'm very thankful for, my dad, my family. It wouldn't be possible without them because, they sacrificed so much to give me this opportunity. My manager, Rusty. It's been a fun ride. I'm living my dream, and I'm doing what I've always wanted to do, but I know it wasn't just because of my driving and what I've been able to do. It's all about the people surrounded around me, and obviously God. He's done so much for me, blessing not only with my abilities, but my health and my family's health. So very thankful, and I'm just doing what I love doing.
What's it like to come back to Winter Heat and kind of look back at where you were and see some of the new drivers coming up, kind of nipping at your heels there?
Well, yeah, it's always good to come to a place like this. Just looking around, looking at the garages, the tracks, the same people that worked on the track, the same officials. It's cool to know this is where it all started. This is where my four-wheel dreams of wanting to be a driver and wanting to be in NASCAR and being able to win and very fortunate to have good people surrounded around me. I was very thankful to come here and support my old guy Chase Pistone, in which he used to do my legend stuff. So it's pretty cool to see all the people that you basically grew up with racing come here, and some are actually still racing here. So it's a lot of fun to come support the series.
One more question for you, Gray. The NASCAR Next program, everybody I think is a little curious about exactly what happens when you're in the NASCAR Next program. I know it's a lot of media type events. Right. I mean, talk a little bit about what being in that program has been like. What are you doing and what's it done for you? Oh my goodness, it's done so much for me. I'm very thankful for NASCAR giving me the opportunity, to be in the NASCAR Next program. There's 15 of us and 15 out of thousands of drivers. I'm very fortunate to be able to be one of them. It's it's not only is it good for the media side, it's a lot of fun. We get to go to Chicago and go see the Chase race and be with the owners, be with all the drivers, and just being in the NASCAR Next program alone is really cool. Well, congratulations on this past year's success with the win at Phoenix and all of that in K&N, and we wish you the best in 2014. I'm sure we'll be talking to you once you officially announce the Truck Series deal, but certainly good to know that you're taking another step up, doing some Truck Series racing along with a full schedule of K&N Pro East, right? Yes, sir. Yep. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And Tom, let me tell you, I really first started paying attention to the name Gray Gaulding in February at Daytona when he dogged Cameron Haley, almost got the win coming off turn 4 at the Battle of the Beach. Obviously, I've watched him race Legends at the Summer Shootout over the past couple years. He's got a bright future ahead of him, but I'll tell you, he's got some aggression behind him, and he's not afraid to make anything happen, and I think that's going to be really interesting, kind of like Chase Elliott in Chase's truck deal this year. I think Gray's going to be another one of those drivers who's not afraid to, if he's got a shot to make something happen, he's going to make it happen, whether anybody else is too happy about it or not.
Yeah, well, Gray has never been afraid to stir the pot just a bit. He is out there to win, as he mentioned in the interview. But the thing I like about Gray is a very humble kid, and he really is very respectful and understands where he came from. And it was nice to see him come back to the Winter Heat race on a very, very cold day in Charlotte. Certainly not a day you wanted to be outside, but there he was, and he was really excited to be there and just kind of keeping up with what's going on with not only the team that he raced for, Chase Pistone Racing, but also with the other drivers that are coming up behind him. So definitely a good role model for those guys, and I hope that things work out well for Gray and his truck venture this year. That truck series is going to be a phenomenal series for young drivers with some of the talent coming in. We've got Gray Gaulding coming in, of course, Tyler Reddick making his debut this year. Be some more younger guys as well. Some announcements, I'm sure, still upcoming in the next couple of weeks as we get close to Daytona. So it's going to be a fun series to watch with drivers like that making their debut in some of the shows this year.
Yeah, it really will be. And as always, appreciate being behind the microphones here on the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report. Obviously, Stock Car Steel and SRI Supplies do a lot for making this show happen and making it happen here at Speed 77 Radio and Race Chaser Online. So a special thanks to Chase Forbes and all those guys out there, and appreciate what they do for us and for all the work we're trying to do around the world of motorsports.
You got that right, and you took the words right out of my mouth. So with that, I will say, until next Thursday, I'm Tom Baker, inviting you to check out StockCarSteel.com and SRI-Supplies.com for all your racing needs. For all the news of the day in motorsports, your first choice for short track news and driver interviews on the web is RaceChaserOnline.com. And of course, don't forget, next Tuesday night, Jacob Seelman and I will be back right here on Speed 77 Radio, powered by Race Chaser Online, for an hour of Motorsports Madness on a show called The Motorsports Madness Show. An hour of news and lively conversation from all around the motorsports world, and we do mean all around the motorsports world. You're just as liable to hear us talking about Australian V8 supercars as you are to hear us talking about go-karts, super modifieds, NASCAR, or anything that runs on dirt. Until Tuesday for Motorsports Madness, for Jacob Seelman, I'm Tom Baker. Thank you for joining us, and have a great racing weekend. So long, everyone.